is Dekin from Team Crimson, and today we are going to be talking about some cards. Alright guys, so as many of you may know, we had some card reveals over the weekend, and then obviously we had Tuesday's stream. Which, to bring in the new year, Bushy revealed cards on the weekend days, Saturday, Sunday, so that was pretty cool. But they were Murakumo cards. To just go dive in right into them, we had the first card revealed was Apprentice Yokai Sasamiya, grade 1, 8k. Skill is Auto Vanguard. When placed, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Shiryuki and its card name from among them, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Then Auto Rearguard. Once per turn, when your Vanguard with Shiryuki and its card name is placed, you may Soul Charge 1. So really solid card. Allows you to, has the on-place skill that a lot of the grade 1s seem to be getting nowadays, with the on-place top 7 for your main 2 or main dude. And then it has the ability to Soul Charge, which is a necessity for Shiryuki. The next card revealed was grade 2, Icefang Princess, Tatsuyu Hari Miyato. I don't know, they got weird names. Grade 2, 9k, Auto Vanguard. When placed, you may call a card with Shiryuki and its card name from hand to rear guard. If you call a card at the end of the turn, return the rear guard called by this effect to your hand, and if you have 1 or less cards in Soul, Soul Charge 1. And then Auto Rear Guard at the end of the turn. If you have a Vanguard with Shiryuki and its card name, cost, put this unit into your Soul, return 1 of your normal units on rear guard to hand. So it, on ride, allows you to immediately get the neg 10k to your opponent's Vanguard, which is really good, or neg 5k. I can't remember. But with Shiryuki, you get busted neg skills for Soul Blast 2. So really good. And then it allows you to put it to Soul and bounce a Shiryuki to hand. And also Soul Charge. So again, does everything that Shiryuki needs it to do. So really solid card. And the boss unit for them is 6 Flowers of Phantasm's Shiryuki. Grade 3, 12k. Skill, continuous, deck and drop zone. This card is also regarded as Fantasy Petal Storm Shiryuki. Yes, you can still play 4 of the OG Shiryuki and this card, because it is regarded as not the same card. And then Auto Guardian Circle. When placed, Soul Blast 2. Choose 1 of your opponent's front row units, and it gets power minus 30k until end of that battle. And then Auto Vanguard Rearguard. Once per turn, when your unit's attack does not hit, if you have a Vanguard with Shiryuki in its card name, cost Counterblast 1. Choose 1 of your opponent's front row units, and it gets minus 10k until end of turn. And then if this unit is on Vanguard Circle, you may call a card with Shiryuki in its card name from your drop zone to an open Rearguard Circle. So this card is really good. It is not insanely busted, but it is really good. The ability to, instead of a neg 10k when guarding, to a neg 30 is really good. It is essentially a 30k Sentinel for a Soul Blast 2, or a no pass. It is, however, until end of that battle. So with restanding Vanguards, or decks like other Excel decks that have insane multi-attacks, it doesn't do a whole lot, but it is still a neg 30k. So if they have a 50k dude and you're sitting at 22, you can say, okay, neg 30k, now it doesn't hit. But it does also have the second skill of when something doesn't hit, if your Vanguard is a Shiryuki, you can neg 10k permanently until end of turn. So that is really good. If your opponent is at 5 damage and you have 2 of these on board, or even 3 of them on board, it is a CB3, but that is a neg 30k to their Vanguard, because that is 9 times out of 10 where you are giving it. It's to their Vanguard. So that is busted, especially because on top of that, its only Soul Blast cost is when guarding, so you can call regular Shiryuki from your drop zone to continuously neg your opponent's Vanguard. Off of just this skill alone, you can do the skill neg 10k to call a copy of itself, swing with it, neg another 10k to call regular Shiryuki, on place neg another 10k. So there's options with this. It is again one of those cards that is really solid for clan selection. Now moving on to today's stream reveals. So we got a couple of promos, but I'm not going to go over those because God knows if we'll get them. Start off with the Royal Paladin reveals. First card was Grade 1, Charging Jewel Knight Morvidus. Act, Rearguard, cost, Counterblast 1, and put a normal unit from your drop zone on the bottom of your deck. Soul Charge 1, and one of your units with Jewel Knight and its card name gain power plus 5k until end of turn. And then Auto Vanguard Rearguard, when your other unit is placed on this unit's circle, draw a card. So really good. The ability to Soul Charge and give plus 5k to herself or one of your other two Jewel Knights. Awesome. And the ability to have the, when something is placed on top of it, draw a card is nice also. But moving on to the second one, Grade 2, Explode Jewel Knight Lael. Auto Rearguard, when it attacks, cost, put 2 normal units from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck in any order, Soul Charge 1, and this unit gains power plus 5k until end of that battle. Then Auto Vanguard Rearguard, when your other unit is placed on this unit's circle, that placed unit gains power plus 10k until end of turn. So it is again one of the cards that on Vanguard and Rearguard, if you ride over top of it or call over top of it, that unit gains plus 10k. So if you cannot tell, Royal Paladin are getting multi-attacks. But yes, also the ability to put normal units from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck, so you can recycle themselves once they're called over, or recycle other normal units is really nice. And the boss unit, Pure Jewel Knight Ashley, Grade 3, skill, Auto Vanguard Rearguard. At the end of the battle it attacked, cost, Soul Blast 2, search your deck for up to 1 Grade 2 or less card with Jewel Knight in its card name, call it to Rearguard and shuffle your deck. If this unit is on Vanguard Circle, call 2 cards, or up to 2 cards instead of 1. Then Auto Vanguard Rearguard, when your other unit is placed on this unit's circle, cost, Counterblast 1, and that placed unit gets critical plus 1 until end of turn. So really good. It finally introduces multi-attack to Royal Paladin, which is something that I've been saying we needed for a while. And it is a Vanguard Rearguard skill too. So with the other cards, you can swing with Vanguard, call 2 new dudes out. Or if you don't have a Rearguard circle you can utilize, call another column. And on top of that, it has the ability to, when something rides over it, or when she rides over herself, she gets an additional crit for a counterblast, which is really nice. And the Grade 2 and 1 Soul Charge cards, so you are not running out of soul as fast with the Soul Blast 2 ability. Really good card, and definitely needed for Royal Paladin. But moving on to the Link Joker reveals. I know a lot of people are super hyped about that. That's why I saved it for last. First card was Grade 1, Star Vader Craving Claw. Auto Vanguard Rearguard, when its attack or the attack it boost hits a Vanguard, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Star Vader in its card name from among them, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. And then Act Rearguard, if your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, cost. Put this unit into the soul, choose up to 1 of your opponent's locked cards and unlock it. If you unlocked a card, choose 1 of your opponent's rears other than that locked unit and lock it. So as you guys probably already knew, and can tell just by me reading that off, lock is introduced into standard now. I will get into that after I read Chaos Breaker. But really good card, allows the search engine, has the Wingull ability to search top 5 for a Star Vader, and you add it, and then has the ability to go into Soul and If you could not lock the card you wanted to lock, now you can lock it. Next was grade 2, Bisection Starvader Zirconium. Auto Vanguard Rearguard. When placed, if you have a Vanguard with Starvader in its card name, cost Counterblast 1, and your opponent looks at the top card of his or her deck and puts it on an open rearguard circle as a locked card. And then if that locked card was placed in the back row, you draw a card, and this unit gains power plus 10k until end of turn. Continuous Rearguard. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and he or she has a locked card, all of your Vanguard's original critical become 2. So if your opponent tries to deny you Rearguards to lock, you will be able to Counterblast 1 and top deck lock something. And you will know what it is because you get to look at it. And obviously the main target is going to be trying to put it in the back row, so you get the draw. And then you don't use Force 1 with this deck, you will end up using Force 2. Or no. If your critical becomes 2, you will end up using Force 1. But going into the main man himself, Chaos Breaker Dragon. So Starvader Chaos Breaker Dragon. Continuous Vanguard and Rearguard. During your turn, if your opponent has a locked card, this unit gains power plus 10k. And then act Vanguard once per turn. Cost Counterblast 1, and your opponent gets an imaginary gift Force. And you choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and lock it. So that is interesting, allowing you to swap a Force gift for a lock. And then Auto Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's locked card is unlocked, Soul Blast 1, retire one of those unlocked units, you draw a card. Your opponent removes a total of 2 markers from his or her circles, or protect from his or her hand. You get an imaginary gift Force for each marker or protect removed. So, something I should state, Chaos Breaker does not have an imaginary gift ability, so he himself, when riding, does not create Force. That is where his third ability comes in, to kill an unlocked card and possibly create 2 Force markers. This card is really good, super solid. It does have a clunkiness to it, with Chaos Breaker and the grade 2 being the only cards that lock, aside from the grade 1 that can unlock something to relock something. And in that you are able to Soul Blast and get up to 2 gifts. Which, yes, when he deletes the gifts, if he deletes an Excel marker, that unit on the Excel will be killed also, and it will be retired. So in general, this card is really good. They also have the promo that allows them to Soul Blast 1 to prevent your opponent's locked cards from becoming unlocked at the end of their turn. So you can possibly full field lock them if you have the right cards. But it also does have a clunkiness to it, where Chaos Breaker and the grade 2 are the only cards that can lock. It is surprisingly fairly balanced for standard. The ability to kill gifts, I think, is something that was needed, especially seeing as Gurgwit is still running rampant. This might be able to do something against it if it high rolls. The problem is if Gurgwit high rolls, Chaos Breaker will probably die. But another thing is if your opponent has multiple locked cards and they unlock at the end of their turn, you will only get to kill one of those units to kill 2 gifts and get 2 gifts. So that is the downside, but at the same time it's an upside, allowing you not to just get board wiped by Chaos Breaker. But this card is pretty solid. It is definitely not meta breaking, and some of you might come at me for saying that, but it is not meta breaking. It is definitely a very solid card. It is along par with a lot of these cards we are seeing nowadays in these clan selection sets. They are super solid generic support for their respective clans. Chaos Breaker involving lock, at first I was worried. Now not so much. I definitely am worried about lock messing with multi-attacks for Force and Protect decks in particular, but it's not going to really screw with Excel a whole lot, aside from the gift deletion, which I think could be a very, very, very big deciding factor on if Chaos Breaker will be good or not, is if it is played and if the deletion of gifts is enough. But a lot of these cards that were revealed are super solid generic support cards again. They are along par with a lot of what we are seeing, and I will say though, however, that a lot of what we are seeing, yes, it is very good, especially on the same level, but they are all roughly tier 2 decks, bottom of tier 1 at their best if you find the correct deck build for it, but I don't think they can stand against the meta unless if something is done. But yeah, that was Chaos Breaker, his arrival into Standard and the arrival of Lock into Standard. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments on if this is what you thought he would do, if this is enough, or your general idea on it. I know I am very happy with Ashley. So yeah, just let me know your comments down below, and your thoughts of what these new cards and how good they are, or if you just don't like them enough, or if you think that yes, these cards are really good, but they're not groundbreaking for their respective clans. Hoping we're able to get more reveals in the future and be able to see that this is going to be enough for these decks and they're going to do something about it. But that is it from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave your comments and thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys later.